The colony of Arendor was alive with activity. Spaceships docked at the central station. Traders shouted their wares and explorers moved with purpose. Captain Elias Varen walked through the bustling streets, his long coat brushing against the dusty floor. He had seen many worlds, but something about this one felt different. Perhaps it was the mixture of humans and aliens living together, learning to coexist in harmony despite their differences. Elias's mission was simple: escort Lyra, an alien diplomat from the Lumina species, to a meeting with the colony council. But he knew that nothing about this mission would remain simple for long. The Lumina were mysterious and intelligent, their abilities and culture far beyond human understanding. And Lyra herself was extraordinary. Lyra walked beside him, her skin softly glowing in shades of blue and violet. Her movements were graceful, almost otherworldly. Humans stared at her, some in awe, some in fear, but Elias paid no mind to the stares. He had seen many alien species, but he had never met one like her. "You are quieter than most humans," Lyra said softly, her voice melodic but firm. "Do you not enjoy conversation?" Elias chuckled. "I enjoy it, I just like to listen too. Humans learn a lot by watching and listening. I find it useful." Lyra tilted her head, studying him. "You are cautious, careful, yet I sense curiosity. You wish to understand me, do you not?" Elias hesitated. Curiosity was exactly what he felt. But he also sensed something more, a desire to connect, to bridge the gap between human and Lumina understanding. "Yes," he admitted. "I want to know how you think, how you feel, how you see the world." Lyra's glow brightened slightly. That is rare among humans. Most focus on what is immediate, not on the unseen or the unknown. They continued walking through the streets, passing markets and workshops filled with strange technology and alien artifacts. Elias watched how Lyra interacted with the environment. She did not just look. She seemed to sense the energy of everything around her. After some time, they reached a quiet plaza near the edge of the colony. The sunlight streamed through the high windows of the surrounding buildings, reflecting off the polished metal floors. Elias stopped and turned to Lyra. "Lyra, may I ask you something personal?" he said cautiously. Lyra regarded him with calm curiosity. "You may ask, but be aware. Lumina are truthful. Our answers are never simple, and they are never false." Elias took a deep breath. He had been thinking about this question for some time, unsure how it would be received. "If I kissed you, how would you react?" For a moment, Lyra did not respond. Her skin flickered with gentle patterns of light as she processed the question. Elias felt a small knot of tension in his chest. He had expected curiosity, maybe even amusement, but her silence made him uneasy. Finally, she spoke. "A kiss. Among humans, it is an expression of affection, perhaps attraction. Among Lumina, connection is deeper. A kiss would not only touch the body, but the mind. It would share feelings, emotions, even memories. It is not trivial." Elias blinked, taken aback. He had not expected such an answer. "So, it's like a psychic link?" he asked. Lyra nodded. "Yes, to kiss a Lumina is to trust fully, to share a part of your being. It is not done lightly and it cannot be reversed." Elias felt a strange mix of awe and nervousness. He had thought of a kiss as something simple, something human, but now he realized it carried a weight he had never imagined. I understand," he said slowly. "It is powerful." Lyra's glow softened. "Yes, and power can be dangerous in the wrong hands. That is why I am cautious with you, even though I sense your curiosity is genuine." Elias smiled faintly. "I promise. My intentions are good. I want to understand, not to harm." Lyra's eyes studied him for a long moment. Then she spoke, not with words, but with a gentle mental nudge, a subtle sharing of calm, curiosity, and cautious trust. Elias felt a warm clarity flow through him, a sensation unlike anything he had experienced. It was as if her emotions were brushing against his own. Before he could respond, a sudden alarm rang through the colony. Red lights flashed and a loud voice announced, "Security breach. Rogue faction detected in Sector 7. All personnel take cover." Elias cursed under his breath. "It looks like curiosity will have to wait," he said, drawing his pistol. "Stay close, Lyra. We need to get out of here." Lyra's glow brightened and she moved beside him, her steps fluid and precise. "I am ready," she said calmly. They sprinted through the streets, dodging panicked civilians and debris. The rogue faction was known for aggressive tactics, and Elias knew they would not hesitate to attack. Around a corner, a group of armed aliens appeared, blocking their path. Elias fired a warning shot, and the group scattered. Lyra's hands glowed faintly, projecting a soft light that seemed to push the attackers back without harm. "You have abilities I do not understand," Elias said. Panting as they ran, Lyra's eyes flickered with amusement. "And you have courage I do not possess. We complement each other, Captain." They reached the edge of the colony where an old transport ship waited. Elias activated the engines, and the ship lifted off just as a blast from the rogue faction struck the landing pad. The ship shuddered but held steady. Inside, Lyra floated to a corner, her glow dimming slightly. "We are safe for now," she said. "But they will follow us. We cannot return to the colony until we know they are neutralized." Elias nodded, gripping the controls. "Then we find where they are hiding and we stop them. Together." Lyra studied him, her glowing eyes reflecting determination and trust. "Together," she agreed. As the ship lifted into the sky, Elias could not help but glance at her. The question he had asked earlier, the one about a kiss, still lingered in his mind. He realized that understanding Lyra was not about simple curiosity anymore. It was about respect, caution, and learning a new way to connect with another being. Hours passed as they navigated the rocky terrain surrounding the colony, searching for signs of the rogue faction. Elias handled the ship with skill, while Lyra used her senses to detect subtle disturbances in the energy around them. Together, they formed a silent rhythm, each compensating for the other's weaknesses, enhancing their strengths. Eventually, they spotted a hidden cave network nestled within a mountain ridge. Lyra's glow brightened. "They are here," she said. "We must be careful. The caves are dangerous, but they will not expect us to enter from above." Elias nodded, checking his weapons and securing the ship. "Then we go in, and we finish this." Lyra's glow pulsed in agreement. "I will guide you. Trust in my senses and do not act rashly." Elias smiled faintly, feeling a sense of partnership he had rarely experienced. "I trust you," he said simply. Together, they descended into the cave, unaware that this journey would challenge them in ways neither had imagined. Danger was near, but so was understanding, a bond that would test their courage, their patience, and the very essence of connection between human and Lumina. And as the darkness of the caves closed around them, Elias realized that the answer to his question, the one about a kiss, was not yet clear. But he also knew that whatever it was, it would be profound, and it would change him forever. The hidden caves under the colony were dark, but not entirely silent. Water dripped from jagged rock formations, echoing softly along the narrow passages. Captain Elias Varen moved cautiously, his boots scraping lightly against the stone floor. He held a small lantern in one hand and a plasma pistol in the other. Behind him, Lyra followed, with her glowing skin casting soft light on the walls. She moved gracefully, almost floating as if the shadows could not touch her. Elias had never seen a place like this. Though he had explored many planets, the hidden caves beneath the colony were alive with a strange energy. Lumina crystals embedded in the walls pulsed gently, in rhythm with Lyra's bioluminescent glow. He could feel the subtle hum vibrating through the air, and it made his heart beat faster. He glanced at Lyra, who seemed calm, almost serene. "Stay close," Elias whispered. "I don't know what we will find down here." Lyra tilted her head, her luminous eyes reflecting the faint light. "These caves are ancient," she said softly. "Our people believe they are a place of memory. They absorb feelings, thoughts, even intentions. You may feel strange things here." Elias nodded, gripping his pistol tighter. He was used to danger, but this was unlike anything he had faced before. The rogue faction that had threatened the colony could be anywhere, and the caves were full of hidden passages and traps. As they walked deeper, a sudden noise made Elias freeze. A metallic clang echoed through the tunnels. Shadows flickered across the walls. Without thinking, he raised his pistol. "Who's there?" he shouted. A figure stepped out from behind a rock formation. It was one of the rogue aliens, tall and wearing dark armor. Elias fired a warning shot, and the alien ducked behind cover. Lyra moved beside him, her hands glowing faintly as she reached out mentally, sensing the emotions of the alien. "They are scared," she whispered. "They do not want to fight, but they are desperate." Elias frowned. "Then why are they here? Why threaten the colony?" Lyra shook her head. Fear makes creatures act against reason, but we can still escape if we work together. With a silent nod, they began moving. Lyra guided Elias through narrow tunnels, sensing the emotional state of the rogue aliens and warning him of hidden dangers. At one point, a trapdoor suddenly opened beneath Elias's feet. He jumped back just in time, and Lyra's glow illuminated the pit. It was deep and lined with sharp rocks. Good reflexes, Lyra said, her voice calm. Many would have fallen. Elias smiled briefly. Thanks, but I can't relax yet. Hours passed as they navigated the labyrinth of caves. They encountered more rogue aliens, but with Lyra's telepathic sense, they avoided direct confrontation. Elias was impressed. She did not just react to danger. She predicted it, guiding him safely while keeping calm under pressure. At one point, they reached a cavern that opened into a large underground lake. The water was crystal clear, reflecting the glow of the lumina crystals and Lyra's light. Elias paused, staring in awe. This is beautiful, he said. Lyra nodded, standing at the edge of the lake. This place holds memories, she said softly. Feelings of those who came before us. Courage, fear, hope. It is why I feel safe here, even though danger is near. Elias took a deep breath. The stillness of the lake, the soft glow, and Lyra's presence calmed him. I think I understand, he said quietly. You don't just feel things physically, you experience them differently. Lyra turned to him, her glowing eyes meeting his. Exactly what you asked me earlier, about a kiss. It was not just about physical contact. True connection is deeper. It is about understanding, trust, and shared experience. Elias's heart raced. Her words were beautiful, but he was still struggling to comprehend them fully. So, how would you react if I helped you, protected you, showed you I care? He asked almost nervously. Lyra smiled faintly. Then slowly she reached out, touching his arm lightly. In that moment, Elias felt a surge of calm and warmth, not just from her touch, but as if her emotions were flowing into him. It was strange and wonderful. He could feel her gratitude, her relief, and a subtle joy that he had never experienced before. This is what you meant, Elias whispered, his voice shaking slightly. Lyra nodded. Yes, connection is not always about words or gestures humans understand. It is about feeling each other's courage, care, and honesty. You have shown all of these. Elias felt a mixture of awe and humility. He realized that what he had thought of as simple curiosity had become something profound. He had always been proud of his bravery and skills, but now he understood that human courage was more than physical action. It was the willingness to respect, protect, and empathize. They stayed by the lake for a while, catching their breath. But there was no time to linger. The rogue faction was still somewhere in the caves, and the colony's safety depended on them stopping the threat. Together, they pressed on, moving toward the source of the rogue faction's presence. When they reached the inner chambers, they found a small group of armed aliens preparing explosives to destroy part of the colony. Elias readied his weapon, but Lyra raised her hand. Wait, she whispered. Let me try. Elias watched in amazement as Lyra extended her hands, her glow intensifying. Through a subtle psychic connection, she projected calm into the minds of the rogue aliens. Their movements slowed, their weapons lowered, and fear replaced aggression. Elias could barely believe it, but it worked. Without a single shot fired, the aliens surrendered. Elias stepped forward, securing the area. I've never seen anything like that, he said, looking at Lyra. She smiled gently. And now you have. Human courage saved us, but understanding and empathy finished the task. The two of them returned to the colony as heroes. The leaders of the settlement praised them, not just for stopping the rogue faction, but for demonstrating how humans and Lumina could work together. The humans marveled at Lyra's abilities, but Elias knew that her strength was more than powers. It was her wisdom, calmness, and the trust she placed in him. Later, as they prepared to part ways, Elias felt a mix of gratitude and something deeper. He turned to Lyra. Thank you, he said simply, for trusting me, for letting me understand. Lyra's glow softened. And thank you, Elias, for listening, for respecting me, and for showing courage not just in battle but in heart. Elias smiled, feeling a quiet joy he had never known. He realized that the question he had asked her before, the one about a kiss, was not about romance anymore. It was about connection, respect, and the power of understanding. As Lyra walked away, blending into the shimmering streets of the colony, Elias watched her go. He knew he would never forget this experience. He had learned that true courage and heroism were not only about strength or skill, they were about empathy, respect, and the willingness to reach beyond one's own world to understand another. That night, as he looked at the stars from the colony's observation deck, Elias whispered to himself, "I finally understand, and I will never forget." And somewhere, across the glowing lights of the colony, Lyra's soft glow pulsed back, a silent acknowledgement of a bond that went beyond words, beyond worlds, and beyond the simple gestures humans often misunderstood.